Hey everyone, welcome to the first episode of Tova Talks. I'm Pranay.
I'm Athena, and we're the co-founders of Tova. We're really excited to kick off this podcast and just share what the journey has been like thus far.
It has been a crazy few months since I quit my job, since you finished your university, and thought that this should be a great way for us to actually reflect on our journey so far, what's worked, what surprised us, and what we are most looking forward to.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't even hosted our first event yet, but there's already been so much happening behind the scenes. And so we can't wait to share how Tova's been shaping up and what else is to come.
So whether you're a member, thinking about joining, or just curious about what it's like to build something from scratch, we're glad you're here. Welcome to Tova Talks. So today's episode is just the two of us, and we're just breaking down our journey so far. We've got some questions for each other when we probably go back and forth and just unpack the experience so far. So to kick things off, do you want to go first?
Ooh, yeah. Okay.
And
I think, right, as you mentioned, guys, he quit his job. If most of you don't know, Pranay was in JP Morgan, and he had recently, put in his resignation letter. So I just wanted to, that's obviously not a easy feat. What was the moment you decided to quit your job and then fully commit to Tova? What was the hardest part also of leaving and fully committing? Let's just quickly unpack that.
yeah.
And how did it feel like leaving the security of having an amazing job to think a startup?
So I mean, I think the idea of quitting my job is not new to me. So, I mean, there's a random story where I think last year, maybe like a year and a half back, where I was attending like a seminar where it was a talk by the co-founders of Xiaomi, and it was organized by HK Founders. So Edith Young was hosting one of the co-founders of Xiaomi, and essentially I got to talk to her after the event. I got to speak to both of them. And what was interesting was I was talking to Edith, and I just asked her, like, this is what I'm doing. I'm working at JP now. I'll be starting soon. And I kind of want to do my own startup. What are your thoughts on that? And it was funny because when I spoke to her about it, she said, do it for 1 year, nothing more than that. And that's how it ended up being. So I don't know what it is, but I think me leaving was...
It was already like planned.
It was planned.
Way back.
But yeah, I think it's in terms of like how I felt about leaving this safety net. I don't know. Again, like something like this felt natural to me. Like it was like a natural progression out of what I don't think I'm built for to what I think I'm built for. And so when we had to make the decision, whether to commit full time or not, it kind of was like, okay, we have certain benchmarks or certain goals that we want to meet, and then we will commit to it. And so I was just waiting to hit those. It was like, okay, as soon as we hit it, I'm doing it. So I think it is about risk appetite, and I think as an individual's...
You are a risk taker, and you like full send when you're
You got a full send.
Yeah,
you have to full send.
It's true.
And so yeah, I think it was the initial, I guess, I mean, obviously we both know about it, but I guess the exact reason was when we launched, we saw pretty decent traction, which we didn't. I guess it was more than our expectations. And then I guess the conclusion in my head was that if this is going to be a function of how much time I can put into it, and that's the output we're going to get out of it, then it's like it was like, just do it. I guess, the more you put in, the more, like, for example, more stuff we put on like LinkedIn or Instagram, and we get more members. And so like more people see us and they're interested and they join. And so then it was just like okay, where would I rather spend my time? And it felt okay. It didn't feel like oh my God, it's completely.
Because juggling everything was crazy, was it not? Like full time, and then Tova, and then Heejin's, obviously, and then
In case you couldn't tell.
I think and all your other commitments. That was crazy.
No, it was hectic. It was a very hectic year. Like the previous year was. I mean, I don't think it's not going to be hectic from here, but I think it'll be hectic in a way where at least I enjoy what I'm doing. Yeah.
Oh, no shit to JP, but
Yo, no shit at all. No shit at all. I mean, what I did there was great, but I think this is just something that I would be far more excited about. So yeah, I think it was hectic. I mean, you've seen it. It was the same for you because you were studying at the time, and so you still graduated with 4.0, and so that would have been super hectic as well because you were managing your classes, and we were doing the initial version of Tova, and it was a hectic period. It was a hectic period for different reasons.
initial Tova was definitely more hands-on as well, just like manual, like a lot of manual stuff. No,
Yeah, it was fine.
it was a lot. It was a lot of time and effort. But yeah. Oh, as you were talking about JP and like your plan going into JP to quit, knowing that you wanted to start your own venture or like full send on a venture, you've always had an appetite for entrepreneurship. If you guys didn't know, I met Pranay in his first venture, Sphere. Do you want to talk more about Sphere?
How we met? I'll just talk about how we met. Yes, there was it's so random. I mean, who'd have thought, like, 3 years down the line we'd be working on something together? But it was just a party, and we were just doing like so it was the first startup that I did it's called Sphere, and it was an app. It was very similar to Bumble BFF, but it was catered towards university students.
But not for dating.
Not for dating, just Bumble BFF. And we did use an algorithm. We had some events, but it was more like, okay, you could text people. It was very like texting oriented. And we just hosted a party, and it was, and I don't even think you were part of Sphere. Like, you had joined.
No, I talked to one person.
Okay. Yeah, you did.
I did.
And then I don't remember how we were doing invites at the time, but whatever. You came, and we got along because we were dancing. Like we could just both dance. Like that was whatever. That was a reason why we clicked. And then, I mean, obviously, like, we hung out after that. Okay, no, because I'm gonna jump into one of my questions for you, which was when I first approached you to do this. When I first approached you to do this, what did you think about the whole thing? And then what did you think it was going to be like to work with me? And is that true? Has it been different from what you expected?
Wait, so you had approached me when I was studying. I was on exchange in KCL.
Yeah.
It was literally, what was it? Like a Zoom call or something. A Zoom call. It's so funny. And we don't like talk or video call much. It's very much like an in-person, like how we interact. So it's kind of like out of nowhere, but I was like, wow. I tell people to this very day that it's the most memorable compliment I've ever received. The fact that you reached out to me about joining the Tova Vision. I've always had so much respect for you. Like, this man is a BNOC. Like, he's the biggest name on campus. Everyone knows him. Everyone has so much respect for him because he's so capable. And I know a Sphere was just like maybe like a stepping stone for you. I know you had like a bigger vision, but I was still very much impressed by Sphere. I met you and met like amazing people, and I really stood by it. Like, and that's how I was posting about it as well. But yeah, so I was just very honored, and like I just you're one of the most capable and like smartest people I know. So I was like,
Don't do the flattery. Just
so I was very. So that's why no legit. That's what I was like. I was excited. If it was anyone else, maybe I would be like, you already had something, and you already had something concrete, and I know you have the passion and the drive to like carry forward something that's substantial, something that's going to be big. And I was very honored to want to be a part of it, working with you. Dude, I know you. We're similar but different. So I know we're very much like, you're someone who balances me out. You know, I think vice versa. So I feel like I hadn't really no like initial worries from like your side. More so like me, maybe because I've like, entrepreneurship has always been something, okay, yes, I would love to do, but I kind of stuck to a more, I don't know, like a secure path. Like with psychology, initially I was going to become a clinical psychologist. And then, so the concern was mainly like how I would be able to like measure up. Like, you've already had your first venture. It's going great. I don't have a background in entrepreneurship. It's only been like, when I was a kid, I was just selling like little things, making money off the side. But yeah. And I really love the problem. Yeah.
But did you have any expectations of how it would be like
to work with you?
And then like,
I know you kick my ass.
To be like bested?
Oh, person?
Any thoughts that you expected?
No.
Was it the expectation was a reality? Anything?
I don't think I really had it. I just like, I don't really have any expectation. I just like obviously wanted to be a success, and like know that it's something that I wanted to do, and that obviously I can like feel your passion for it. And I didn't like, I just know that you would push me. That's my only expectation, or like assessment of the situation of if we were to like work together. Yeah. I just know, you would just like kick my ass, but in a good way. And I need that. I need that push. My mother would tell you. But yeah, no, I was more so excited. And then, more so excited on how it will be able to take shape. But yeah, I was excited because you did like approach me like mid exchange, like around that time. So there's still quite a few months before we were able to, sat down and then get back to talking about it. It was just like in the back of my mind. Because I was also trying to finish my studies. Right. Yeah.
No, so what I was gonna say was the reason why I approached you of all people, like why I would want to work with you. So I think it's obviously I knew that we've never worked together, which is always like okay, you kind of want to do something of this scale with someone you've worked with. So that was like it was like an initial concern. Like I don't actually know how she works, and I don't know if she has the drive to be able to put in like the 12-hour shifts needed, right? Like I didn't know any of this at that time, and so
for real,
it was a gamble, and the gamble paid off. To put that caveat, but at that time it was very like, I don't know how it's gonna be. So I mean, someone could easily make an argument that was a stupid decision at that point. Yeah. Like it didn't logically make sense, but that someone could easily make that argument. Obviously, luckily, it's been okay, right? So we're not struggling in that sense. But yes, I mean, I approached you because you're a psych student, which I thought was really important. There's so many things that
there's so many psych students. Sorry.
There's so many psych students. That's true. But I haven't met anyone with the social capabilities that you have. So like to me, it was like there's definitely something that Athena knows that others don't. Because I mean, you could easily walk into a room and be friends with every person there when you walk out, and I don't think a lot of people have that capability. A lot of people would like to have that capability. I would like to have that capability. There's a lot to learn, but it's not that easy. Especially if you walk into a room where you know nobody, then it's a lot more nerve-wracking, at least for me. But I feel like it's just not for you. And so there's definitely a lot that, that could have been tapped into. But I guess over time is when we realized that, okay, there's so many, for example, Athena has this really good tact for design and art. And I didn't realize how important that would have been so far. But thank God she has it. I mean, I'd like to think I'm decent, but Jesus Christ, I would not be even close to enough to what we actually need. Because she is a bit of a perfectionist. She would play around with shit until she actually is happy, which is great because I would be like, yeah, cool, good enough, let's go. But you work.
But that's how we balance each other out, you see.
I think there's been a lot of like balancing acts between the two of us, and I guess we would never have found that out until we work together. Thank God. Thank God we balance each other out. But yeah, I guess it was a gamble, and it paid off, so it's okay. And
yeah, no, because it also was like, go ahead and like think on it.
Yeah,
like for real, think on it.
I did say that because it was like, to me, it's like okay, like if we're gonna do it, like I need like 100% commitment, and there's like a lot of risks attached to it. So I was like, can't make a knee-jerk decision on this. And entrepreneurship is not for everyone, and I think, well, that's a different topic, but I don't think everyone should be getting into it. And so I think obviously there's a part of it which is that you need to know yourself. And so it was kind of one of those like, okay, do you think this is for you? And if you do, then let's try something. But yeah, that was sorry, I guess your question was something different though.
Oh no, but like, how did you? Right, you just said entrepreneurship is not for everyone. How did you know that this is, like, starting your own business is for you, something that you've always wanted to do? And like, again, sorry, JP or like full-time jobs were just like a stepping stone for you.
I mean, okay, so I would caveat that by saying that I think I would just want to be in the startup space. To me, the way I thought of it was like I'd either have my own or work for one. And so it wasn't like there's no hard and fast rule where like it has to be mine. I very happily worked for a startup in another space in the past if it came to that. So it was just like I don't want to work in like big corporates. But that was the main guiding principle. And I guess the reason why I'm so inclined towards it is because like in my family, like it's just it's the only thing. Like this is a story, but like my grandfather, my dad's dad, when I was leaving for Hong Kong, the only thing he actually said to me was that at the end of the day, you're not going to work for someone. That was his only words that he had for me. There was nothing else. So I mean, it's basically to say that I've kind of grown up in that environment. So my dad has his own business, my grandfather has his own business, and so I've seen it all through life. And so it wasn't like an unnatural step for me to take, which I guess is helpful to have the background. What made you want to deviate from the standard path to actually do this, as opposed to, well, I guess, did you, like it was a deviation from clinical psychology?
Yes. But actually clinical psych was also a deviation because growing up, I wanted to be it in business.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, it's not my own thing. Because I think when you grow up, like, people will tell you, yes, that it's not an easy road. So obviously you want that security. And so I think when you're super young, everyone obviously is like all for you doing your own thing. The excitement is there. Just try it out because the consequences are big. And then I think reality sets in. And then I was like, okay, then maybe if I'm not going to do my own thing, then I just want to be in the business space. Like if it's like whatever, marketing or whatever. And then clinical psych, because I don't, I love working with people. And I think it was kind of like a natural path that other people were seeing how, I don't know, I was able to connect with people, and then,
Yeah.
I don't know, people would tend to open up to me in ways that they maybe not with others or not so easily. And then it was kind of like put into my mind, oh, why don't you do psych? So I pursued psych. And then ultimately, after studying psych in university, I was like, I love the discipline itself, but I love being in a business like environment, like something that's more dynamic, that like keeps you on your toes, and you're like working in groups, and you always have to like create a problem solve. Like I realized that was the type of environment that I thrive in, but I love psych as a discipline. So that's why I pivoted to a business master's. And actually, my psych degree and my psych knowledge really helped me with my business master's. And I think that's why I was able to do pretty well in it. So yeah, coming out of it, I was like, "Ah, you know what the best thing would be? If I could find something that could merge my two backgrounds or disciplines together." Tova could not have asked for a more perfect thing. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Because there's actually like a thing that went into my decision making as well to ask you, because I knew you wanted to do clinical psychology. And so that's why I was like, wait, are you like sure about this? Like I knew it was like, okay, because this does intermingle psych with another, obviously with the entrepreneurship, making friends, etc. So I was like, it's not like a deviation, like a hard pivot from your actual goals, but it is a pivot from like if it was going to be clinical psychology. So then I was like, that was one of the reasons why. Well, I guess one of the reasons why I came to you, and one of the reasons I was like, okay, like just think about it, because it's different. Yeah,
If you are in psych, you are kind of like spoon fed to go to that go through this clinical psych route. It's not necessarily something that I was super eager to get into, because a clinical setting is tough, you know, and it is rather like controlled, and it's just like, it's not for me. It's not for me, but I do love psych, so I'm really glad. I think everything like fell into place.
just a bit.
But yeah. Oh, I wonder. Oh, okay. Because sorry, one of my questions is also like, what was the reception from your family and friends about starting your own business, or like wanting to be in the entrepreneurship space? Because like what I said, often you hear like your loved ones would want a stable and good life, like easy life for you. But yeah, you just said that your grandpa's all for it. I'm sure your dad is.
Yeah. So I mean, it really came down to like the last couple of days before I actually made the decision. It was I was talking to them, like my mom and dad, and so I think my mom was a little more like, you want to just wait and see how it goes after the first event, and see it, like see something happen. But I think my dad is a little more risk on, so he was like, it's fine, like you have to take risks. And then again, it came back to like okay, the more I put in, the more I'm going to get out of it. So if I'm only going to be putting in like 2-3 hours a day, because that's all the time that's left, then I'm just going to get that much output. And so, yeah, so I think it's not like they were not supportive. I think they were far more supportive than the general. Again, because they've also seen the same thing. So I think it was fine, I guess. But how was it for you? What did you? No, I mean, I guess from friends, friends. I think friends. I guess most people have known that I want to do startups. So I guess it wasn't like a big shocker to most people. I think it was like, oh, you know what? Good for you. You did, like, a lot of people would be like, oh, you've done something that we all wish we could. I personally was never seeing it as that big of an achievement to have quit, but I mean, different upbringing, I guess. And so, yeah, I think everyone was pretty like, congratulations, she managed to get out. Yeah. Well, anyways, so I think it was all fine. How was it when you spoke to your mom about, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm not going to like look for like a corporate job? How was that?
I'm actually very lucky that my mom is quite supportive, especially when it comes to like wanting to start my own business. Because I think like she was the one when I was like very young, helping out with my little side hustles, and that's what she was like. Maybe one day you'll become like a business owner. But yeah, and then site came in. But yeah, so she is supportive, but also, I mean, naturally there are worries attached. She knows I've never like properly started my own business beforehand, and
Well, I mean, neither have I, but yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
And also, I think ideally she would have loved me to go into corporate first. Because when you go into corporate, like you still learn a lot. You still get a lot of skills that you can very much translate into like starting your own business. Things like time management, discipline, structure. So I think she would have loved me to actually, yeah, get a stable full-time job, earn good money, and then go for the startup route. But then I ended up doing my master's, and then we went straight in. So it's been good. She had her worries, but she's not. It was never like there was no friction. It was never something that she was like, don't do it, don't explore it. She would often ask me how Tova's doing, about our events. Like she will also have ideas in her back, like in the back. Because my mom is very, I feel like she has a very entrepreneurial like mindset. Like everything, even though she's working for companies, she's the one who really like spearheads projects and then really makes things her own. Like in her last job, they made a whole role for her because she was doing so much. So yeah, I'm just very lucky. My bro is also has his own business, and
Does he? Wait, which one?
oh, the youngest bro. Yeah, so I have two younger brothers, Joshua and Jaden. So Jaden is 19, and his business, he started with a couple of his high school friends, and it's in 3D printing. So he 3D prints custom cosplay props, and it actually is going really.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. What do you print? I woke up and there was this like statue on the table because it was a custom order from a client.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's doing very well. He's a real act for design.
Okay, what runs in the family? Holly on.
He's the one who like he keeps me in check whenever I draw something. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because he's so
He
he's like
sketches
the
as well.
proportion and shit. Huh?
He sketches as well.
Oh yeah,
So Lee runs in the family.
I guess.
And does the middle one do it as well?
No, my the middle brother is so useless. But he has music. We'll give him that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, friends. You know what? Isha. So Isha's my best friend. I told her about Tova, and she was like, I could not have pictured a more perfect like startup for you, or like something that you would be a part of. So it was just like reassuring, and yeah, a lot of support. I think our reels. Oh my god, our reel. I remember this one time I posted a reel, and we were getting like hella comments. Like I think in like close to 100.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The street interviews, the one that was like comment blah blah blah.
Is it? We hit 100?
Oh, maybe in total after we also replied. So half of that, but it was still a lot. But it was so far, friend. I remember hearing things like, "Wow, we're getting so much chat."
Yeah, then I'd go check everyone. It's just Athena's friends. I'd say, oh, yes. So, I mean, talking about the present, Tova itself, what kind of culture would you like the Tova community itself to have? So the people within the community, what is the type of people you'd want to attract to this community?
New question. I think, as I was saying the obvious, it'd be really great to have people doing cool shit, like, action-oriented people. It doesn't matter what background or what, industry, people who have ambition, people who have drive, people who have passion. And then outside of that, I think, honestly, genuine people, like people who are really coming into Tova and putting themselves out there and looking to get, deal connections and meaningful connections back. Open-minded people also, just really fostering a community where we can just grow and support one another. There's empathy there's support, there's compassion, there's community drive and sharing. Yeah. So if you know anyone, hey, go on. What about you?
No, I think you summarized it really well. I think that we do want people who are action oriented. We want people who are passionate about whatever they're doing. And I guess it is one of our questions where we kind of ask, are you where you are in life? Or if you're not, what are you doing to get to where you are? And we're trying to obviously elicit whether, you have some kind of something that you're working towards. And if you're happy, then why are you happy? What is it about that makes you content? Because, I mean, if you're where you are and you're happy with it, I mean, good for you. You crushed it. So yeah, as long as we know that, there's something that's driving you in some way, shape, or form, I think that's pretty important for us. So I think that's what we're trying to gauge from that question. But yes, I think it really helps when we have, when an application has a referral attached to it, because then that kind of allows us to at least have some trust that the current community obviously has certain values. And so when you refer someone, we expect that you're referring someone with similar values. So it really allows us to actually, it's basically like someone vouching for you, right? And that's super important because then we trust that this is a good person to bring into the community. And so, I think, I guess that's the type of people that we want to see in the community itself. But yeah, so our first event is happening tomorrow. So by the time you see this video, you already had the event. It's our mixology masterclass. And I guess the question is, what do you actually hope we learn from this first event, right? Because it's our first event, and the previous version of Tova did not have events, and now this is our first time doing it. What are we trying to learn from it, and how do we improve from there onwards?
I think really just making sure that we deliver on our mission to forge meaningful connections. And then the avenues in which we are looking to deliver that works. So yes, we have cool events, but are these events really socially crafted, functioning the way that we intend them to? And then that our compatibility algorithm works. I think, starting out, it might not be, we can't guarantee that as much, maybe because the pool is not that big yet. Decent size, but not that big. But just to know that we're on the right track. To see, honestly, I think I would feel accomplished if our attendees just had a good time and they can say that they met good people and that they would want to come to future events. Yeah. Because a lot of work is gonna put into it. We do have a lot of events on the pipeline, like in the pipeline. Yeah.
I think on the social avenues part that you mentioned is because we have interesting ideas on how we want to craft an event into being social. So I think it would be good to see that it actually works. And if it doesn't work, what can we learn from it, and why didn't it work, and what could be improved, right? So I mean, obviously we are trying to improve the process. So I doubt we're going to hit the nail on the head, but hopefully we get to see what is lacking and how we can bridge that. So yeah.
I think it also would, because we're coming in with a specific event, whether we want to continue this type of event specifically with our event partner, you know, or branch out, do different things. Yeah, really eager to see how it goes and feedback from our members. Yeah. And our event partner too. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so one question that I have was, what surprised you most about each other during the process of like actually building Tova? And I think for me, okay, I'm sorry, I'm going to take this.
Oh yeah, go on.
But because like one of the things which I didn't like, okay, obviously the reason I approached you was the whole psychology aspect, and I knew you're good with people, etc. So that carried through. That ended up being quite real because like the algo building, etc. You were obviously very heavily taking the entire thing forward, right? So that I kind of was expected. What I didn't expect was how good you are with design. And I mean, okay, so my opinion on just design and marketing is that they're probably one of the most underrated skills that you need. So I mean, this goes into the whole startup, like, okay, build a good product and it'll sell itself argument, but I think that doesn't really happen. I think you'll see a lot of counter narratives to that point as well. I think you need to actually market it to find like, okay, after the initial, like a small niche group of people that you like users that you find. If you want to go further from there, you do need to market something. And so I think design and marketing are super underrated. I am a person who kind of does believe in the build and ship and then, fix the design later. I didn't realize how much more helpful it would be if you had like a person with a very keen artistic and design eye to just correct things in the process. So for like it really helped when you would just like move like a button or an icon or something from this place to this place, because it doesn't take me time to do it. And then someone immediately just telling you, okay, just do this is just a lot better. I mean, you could argue like some of the biggest companies from Airbnb to Apple, they were all built by like design students. Right? Like, so Steve Jobs to Brian Chesky, they're all like design students. And it goes to speak about the fact that if you really build a well-designed product, sometimes it does help. It does make a difference. And so I didn't realize how good you were with that until we started working. I didn't know you sketch. I didn't know you're so good with like paint and everything. And it was something that like is great. It's wonderful to have. Like, it's a skill set that we would have to go elsewhere to find, but we don't, because we don't have to, because we have it in-house. So that's one thing which I was like, dang, this is useful.
No, I'm unfortunate that like we're aligned in our aesthetics. Like we like, do you know what I mean? Like the design I put out, or like I will like make on Canva or something, you like. And if we had different aesthetics, then obviously it wouldn't be as easy. Yeah. Thank you, Ran.
Yeah. I'm glad that you push yourself on that, because like what happens is she will build something, and then she'll ask, like, we go through like a feedback loop, right? And she asked me, I'm like, wow, looks great. And she'd be like, no.
What's that for?
And she would rebuild it. I was like, okay, you're right. This looks better.
I think so. Yeah, fine, fair.
Yeah, it's good that you can catch yourself on that, because I like it.
But I need you to reel me in at times. But yeah. Oh, thank you. I think one thing, it wasn't really surprising because obviously I know, again, goes back to the whole, like, you're very capable at all these things. I know you're good with numbers. I know you're amazing with computers, like comp-sci, tech. Otherwise you wouldn't be in JP. But I think it was just, obviously, like, growing up social sciences is more of what I see in my immediate surroundings, or what like my environment that I'm put in. So like people who are in tech, in like comp sci, it's very, I'm gonna say, it's very impressive to me, but I don't like see the immediate, like what you guys are doing, you know? So I think it's just crazy that through Tova, I've been able to see that what you code, like, because he'll be like, I need to focus on coding. So he'll be like MIA for a couple of hours. And I know he's like coding, doing his things. I'll come over and his screens are just like filled with all these like words. Like it's gibberish to me. But then it's so cool to see that all these like words and these numbers on your screen actually become this like product, like this thing that I can interact with and that takes me to all these different things. So I just think that's crazy. And it was surprising because I've, again, never seen it. I guess you're like used to it, like in the tech space, like this is what coding can do for you. This is what tech can do for you. But to me, it was really cool. And obviously like Tova wouldn't be what it is without you. Yeah, you should bring things to life. That's what it is. Yeah. I come with like the theories and stuff.
Yeah, we are back after a small technical difficulty. But yeah, I think we're almost ready to wrap it up. So
Okay, so I do have a wrap up question for you. What has been the key takeaways of Tova and our Tova journey for you?
I mean, I guess the simple ones, right? Like the simple ones are, it's been tough in terms of the time management, so far. You know, with me working just nights and weekends and trying to build everything as quickly as possible. So I think there's been a lot of time management that I've had to kind of like make sure that I'm doing better. And then it's been rewarding. It's been gratifying to see that somewhat of our hypothesis, people care. And so people have been curious enough to sign up, become members, come for at least like show interest in the events that are coming up. So it's good to see that we're not, completely walking in the blind. That's nice. Do you have anything?
I have two. The first one being that I hadn't realized how, yes, startup is a big thing. There's a lot that goes into it, but I don't think I realized just how much goes into it. Like how many like hats you have to wear in order to make your venture work, like flourish. And it, like, obviously you think the product and then marketing that product, distribution, whatever, getting people. But there's so many like smaller things that if you didn't consider it, if you didn't put it into practice, it just wouldn't work. And I think it's not even like components, but it's I don't know how to say it. Like
Operations
in different persons. Yes, the operation itself, but not even the operation in the present. Or
like trying to plan for
like the near future, and then the bigger future.
the bigger picture, like keeping that in sight every time, and every decision we make is some kind of bearing on like the larger scale.
So even if you have like the practice down for like what's going on soon or now, like you very much come in most of the times being like, oh, but keep in mind or start planning for how this can work later on. And I think it's very fundamental. Like you need to have a good foundation that's able to like scales, and that requires planning. That requires like forethought. So yeah, you just have to, there's just so much to consider, and it's like big and small. I think my second takeaway is how much you learn from this journey. Like, obviously, I've learned so much from you, in terms of starting your own business, entrepreneurship. You've been in this for a hot minute. You know everyone and almost everything in the industry. You like to read up and listen up. So I'm very fortunate that you you share your resources to me so that I'm up to date. And then I now actively seek out information in terms whether it be like podcasts or just like articles or books regarding entrepreneurship, because I genuinely think, or like people, I genuinely think the best way to learn about starting a business is from business owners themselves, those who are been like super successful, and then also business owners and businesses that have failed, you know? Yeah. So it's just like a lot that I've learned, a lot of hard skills, especially regarding entrepreneurship. And now, like, if you look at my reels, and it's all about starting your own business, all about entrepreneurship, or like motivational speeches from entrepreneurs. Oh my God, my friend was scrolling through my Instagram, my reels on my phone, and he was like, "Why are your reels so boring?" It's all just like, it's all just talk. It's all just like speeches. Well, I obviously find them interesting, and you would find them interesting, but I think they take away from the general memes or whatever is funny. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's been 1 year so far. I think there's a lot more to come. There's a lot more to come for Tova Talks as well. In fact, we have a very cool second episode coming. Won't leak too much, but we have extra guests on. So wherever this is published, make sure you follow and keep up with it, because it's going to be quite cool. I guess that brings us to the end of this episode 1. A little bit of a dive into us. And hopefully we see you guys in the next episode.
Fair.
All right. Thanks.
Bye. Oh, my voice cracked.